Today, or this evening, I will talk about the topic leaving a legacy. Leaving a legacy. It's such an important topic. You know, brothers and sisters, let us remind ourselves about something. And that is, after we die, the majority of people will forget that we even existed by the third generation. How many of you remember your great-grandparents? I want you to think about that for a minute. It is commonly known, and many studies have already been done on this, that the average time for people to forget that you even existed after you die is by the third generation. And all you have to do is to see if you can remember your great-grandparents or your great-great-grandparents. It's as if they never existed in this world. Isn't that right? So by the time you and I die, we'll be soon forgotten. Completely. This is a fact that everybody knows. So what is your value? Who are you in this world? All this effort and all this work that we do, all this tiredness that we go through, the sacrifices, the tears and the sweat, seem all to be in vain. And the only thing left is for us to hold on to something that gives us some kind of hope or purpose. But the truth is, once we die, soon we are forgotten. By people, that is. Our children will soon lose memory of us, and then their children, and the children who come after them. Not only that, there is a study that a friend of mine gave to me, and I found it very interesting. It says that according to a widely quoted longitudinal study of 3,250 families conducted over 25 years by US wealth consultancy, the Williams Group, in 2002, they said about 70% of a family's wealth is squandered by the second generation. And by the third generation, it's 90% squandered. All that wealth that you accumulated by the third generation perishes, and it's spent and gone. And then you think to yourself, I lived all my life accumulating this wealth for my children, for my children's children, and the generations to come. And majority of people by the third generation have already spent all that money. And they give reasons, there are many theories. The children kind of remember your efforts, but not as much because they didn't work as hard for it. Then their children, they forget, they don't even know how much work has been put into it, and they just enjoy that luxury. And when you haven't worked hard for something, you spend it very quick. By the fourth generation, forget it. It's gone. Your wealth is perished. So I wonder why people work for wealth. Now, of course, we do need wealth. And wealth is a means of many benefits for us in life. And a Muslim should not look at wealth as something that they should not have. Rather, you should have wealth. And you should work for wealth. Money and things like that, because they save you from begging other people. They save you from needing other people. They make you stronger and a benefit to other people. Wealth is strength. It is power. However, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about people who live their life for two things: solely and only confined to worldly gain, and don't believe or even care or think that there is a life after death, that there is a hereafter. Don't think about why we are here, where we came from, and where we're going. Just like an animal kingdom, we're just here as the products of the biodiversity and the chemical reactions that happened in the world, and haphazardly and suddenly you and I are here and we just live and die like just any other object in life that has no other meaning or purpose. And we just create purposes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about these types of people. So if you make money your sole purpose to gain it and to accumulate it, then it will be lost by the third generation. And there it goes. And if you want to be remembered for a glory or an achievement that you've done, by the third or fourth generation you are forgotten. Even your own family doesn't know you existed. In the past, people who didn't believe in Allah, didn't believe in their messengers and prophets, when they used to fight in wars, they fought for one thing. The most chivalrous among them fought for glory. Glory, to have statues built of them and to be remembered in the books to come. And they say this is how we live on. But this is just a fallacy and just a way to cover up their emptiness. My dear brothers and sisters, so what is the solution? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in the Quran, in Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verse 12, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. Allah says, we shall surely raise the dead to life, and we record what they did and the traces of their deeds that they have left behind. We have encompassed that all in a clear book. Let's analyze the verse first, and then we'll go on, InshaAllah, with the explanations. This particular verse in the Quran, which is in Surah Yasin, tells us about three things for us to remember. The first thing to remember is this. Number one, whatever a person does in this life, whether it's good or bad, is entered into a divine register. It is all recorded and it stays there. And it will be reproduced on the Day of Judgment. That's the first thing. The second thing we learn from this verse is the following: that all of a person's impressions and marks on the objects of this environment, even on his own body, everything he did in this life leaves a mark and an impression. Even on your body. All of your actions, your intentions, your goals and your doings, good and bad, will be brought to life one day as you watch them, and you must answer to them. That's the second thing we learn. We are going to answer to everything. Everything that is done has an impression in life. Our goals, our intentions. And the third thing that Allah tells us in this verse, whatever influences, whatever what? Influences how you affected other people. Whatever influences, this is the modern age of influencers. So whatever influences you have left behind of your good and bad actions on the future generations, on your society, on mankind as a whole, will go in being recorded in your account as far as they reach, and as long as they remain active and operative, as long as people act upon what you influenced people on before you died and after you died and you left it behind. The full record of the good and bad training given by you to your children, the good and evil that you have spread in society, and its impact on people as a whole will go on being maintained till the time that it goes on producing good or evil results in this world. Man, that verse is really deep to me. I don't know if you thought about it that deeply. Allah is telling you, not only are your actions which you do or did in this world are recorded, and you'll be accountable, you and I be accountable for them. But even the influences we left behind after we're dead, we are dead and we are no longer doing anything yet. If we have left something behind of good or evil and it's affecting people in that way, it's influencing people and they're still acting on it, I'm still going to either get its reward or cop it. I'm going to still suffer or get rewarded for it even after I am long gone and dead. These are the things I left behind. In other words, the legacy that you leave behind, good or bad, will also come back to you. So death is not even the end. Allah tells us, even what you left behind, because that's your work. The question now is, what kind of a legacy do you want to leave behind that will count for you ongoing after you die? We live in an age right now with social media. Nearly every person in the world is on it. Old, young, all types. And nearly every single person in this world in the past at least 10 years to 20 years has recorded or written or posted something on social media somewhere. And someone has read it or watched it or copied it or acted upon it or listened to it from nearly every single person in this world. We've never had such a thing in the history of this world, where every individual has an influence on large numbers of people. You'll be sitting in your bed, in your lounge. You could be a nobody. You could be what they call an NPC, non-player character. And you will be influencing thousands of people and nobody knows you. Or they might know you, or you might have another name. And you're just this dark person living in this dark room behind a screen and these seriously wicked headphones with a wicked chair, and you're influencing thousands of, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. That is going to be your legacy after you die. What do you want to leave? What do you want to influence? What do you want to be remembered by?
بين الرجاء والخوف قلبي طائر